Hey, Sun Devil fans, Brad Denny with 3TV, CBS 5, and the Speak of the Devils podcast here. And welcome back to another episode of the Speak of the Devils Sit-Down series, where I bring you in-depth, one-on-one conversations with key players, coaches, and other figures within Sun Devil athletics. You never know when your number's going to get called. You really can just only prepare for the moment. Most true freshman offensive linemen don't play much, if at all, during that first season. But with ASU's line ravaged by injuries in 2023, Sean Na'a was thrown into the fire early, and that included an infamous midair position change on the flight to Utah. He responded well and earned praise from the coaching staff for his team-first attitude and his play, and that has really helped elevate him into a leadership position along the Sun Devil offensive line, and he'll be in the mix to be a foundational piece in the trenches for years to come. On this episode, Sean and I discuss the lessons from that freshman year and how they prepared him for the seasons ahead. A rundown of the infamous flight to Salt Lake City, the makeup of the 2024 offensive line, what makes California high school players just a little bit different, and so much more. So let's get to it. Here's my conversation with Sean Na'a. All right, Sean, so obviously it's been the talk of college football the last couple of weeks, guys, so got to get your thoughts. What do you think your rating should be in the new EA Sports college football game?
To be honest, I'm thinking like maybe low 60s. I know how they be doing offensive linemen. I'm thinking low numbers. So, no, I'm not trying to go too crazy with it, but I'm thinking like 63, 62.
Oh, and then later on in the update, you know, they'll bump you way up. Okay.
That's the goal. We're trying to build that overall for sure.
Awesome. Was that something that you played as a kid growing up? Obviously, it's been a while away since they've had it, but was that something that you messed with one day? Maybe thought, hey, maybe I can be in the game.
Oh yeah, for sure, definitely. Especially growing up, my mom's little brother played Division I football, so we always just wanted to play with them. And NCAA 14, especially, that was the game.
Awesome. So obviously winter workouts are in full swing right now, and notice that, you know, as they did last year, you guys are kind of divided into teams, have some friendly competition going on as well as you guys are putting in that hard work. You're a team captain, which is, you know, coming off of a true freshman season, kind of one of the younger guys there. Are you embracing that role as kind of one of the team leaders, despite, you know, just heading into your second year as a Sun Devil?
Yeah, for sure. Before we left on winter break, I had a little talk with Coach Dilly, and he was talking about me stepping up and taking a bigger role, and especially as a leader. So, you know, I came in from break thinking that I was probably going to be on the leadership council. So just embracing that moment and trying to be a better leader as much as possible.
Is that something that's always kind of come naturally? Is like you've been looked at as a leader, or is that something that maybe the coaches saw something in you and are trying to nurture that aspect?
Yeah, I'll definitely say that the coaches definitely saw it in me, especially coming from last year. A lot of the guys came and talked to me and asked me questions. Like, we're in the same grade, and I'm, just trying to use that experience that I use on the field to help everybody else out.
How would you describe your leadership style?
I'd say I'm more like I'm not a big vocal guy. Not a big vocal guy. That's more like Leaf Altanu. So I just try to show by like example. Try to show people like how to get there on time and stuff like that, and just show.
How do you see the guys are kind of responding to you know, despite, you know, being younger? I mean, obviously, you know, in that leadership role, you mentioned leadership council. How are you seeing the guys kind of respond to you as one of the younger faces of the team?
They're definitely treating me with some respect, which is crazy. You know, especially like you said, me being young, I didn't expect like the older guys like looking at me like that. But yeah, just being more respectful and just listening to what I got to say. So yeah, those guys have been great.
Under your leadership, how's your team doing in the competitions? I know they put out some regular standing updates in terms of the scoreboard. How's your team doing?
Right now, I think we're in like 7th, but I feel like we've been getting cheated. So if the coaches are watching this, man, I don't know. I think we've been getting cheated, but the competition has been really good, especially the teams that we've been playing. Last week we played Montana Warren's team. Week before that we played CJ Fight's team. So, you know, it's been great.
So what's the overall vibe kind of like, you know, with these winter workouts? Obviously, you guys are having fun, putting in that hard work, and, you know, everybody's gearing up to for this upcoming season, getting better and making those off-season strides. Plus, another year with a lot of new faces in the team, a lot of new guys. How do you think the vibes coming together with the guys putting in that hard work in the offseason, as well as getting a bunch of new guys into the fold?
It's been great. I feel like ever since we started day one, we've all clicked. So just building that brotherhood with each other, just working hard, like you said, every day in day out, has been really good. So I'm just really excited for spring ball and everything else this year.
As one of those kind of team leaders, what are you doing, or what are the things that you've been doing to maybe help those newcomers kind of get into the flow as somebody who was a newcomer just a year ago?
Yeah, like you said, just trying to help out the new people. Last year, I did play a lot, so just trying to help the younger guys out, especially with the playbook and like technique and stuff like that. That's what I've been trying to do in our
What
online.
what has been the kind of the focuses of your off-season work? We're working with Coach Joe and his staff, and just the things that you've identified that you really want to attack and hammer home in these off-season months.
Definitely get stronger in the weight room, especially because we're going into the Big 12, playing some big guys. So just definitely getting stronger in the weight room and working with Coach T and the older boys in our online room, trying to get the playbook down to the T. So.
How do you see your approach this offseason, attacking the upcoming year, differ or having evolved from last year? When you're obviously you're a newcomer to Tempe, but also just making that jump up from high school to college ball.
I'd say going into this offseason, I'm definitely more prepared to I know what to expect coming when I come back. So just working on the little things for sure is a big thing that I'm focused on this offseason.
Looking back at last year, obviously most offensive linemen tend to maybe take a red shirt year that first year in making that jump from high school to college ball. Not the case, obviously, with you. Did you expect to maybe play early at all? Maybe not at that as much as you did, but did you expect to see the field early on in your Sun Devil career?
Yeah, I did expect to maybe get in a little bit, but like you said, it's nothing that I thought would have happened. So yeah, definitely was a shocker.
As a guy who came in, I believe, over the summer last year, and trying to kind of ramp up pretty quick. Didn't have the benefit of spring ball. How did you kind of hit the ground running to allow yourself to be prepared and ready when your number was called?
Oh, just turning to the older guys, Lee Faltanu, Joey Ramos, Shone, Cade, all the older boys definitely came through for me and helped me whenever I had a question. So just like spending extra time with them in the film room and just asking them questions whenever at lunch, breakfast, definitely helped a lot.
Some of those older guys that did help you, what were some of the key lessons that they imparted upon you, and the things that they told you that ultimately you found out were most helpful to you, and when you got that playing time?
How important technique is, and like taking like I said, little things like the little steps you do, um, like how the D line is set up, like what to look at their knee, look at this. So just little things like that definitely help.
When you look at yourself from that first snap early in the year to the end of the year, where did you see the most growth in your game, and the biggest strides that you made over the course of the 2023 season?
I'd say more relaxed. I'd say I was more comfortable. Like you said, beginning of the year, I was shaky. I was like, wow, I'm really out here. But as the season gone on, I definitely said that I felt more comfortable out there and more. I just felt more free. I'd say I wasn't so tense out there.
How long do you think it takes? So many people say that adjusting to the speed of the game when you're making a level, making that jump from high school to college at the speed is oftentimes just the biggest adjustment for you. How long did it take kind of to overall kind of slow down and just you feel like you're kind of in that flow, and as you mentioned, kind of not having those nerves of the early part of the season?
I'd say probably Washington week. I'd say that's when everything kind of like slew down for me. But before that, yeah, everything was definitely like faster than I'm used to. But yeah, I'd say like Washington week is when everything kind of slowed down for me.
Of course, the Utah game was something that got a lot of traction just because you were thrown in a really tough spot of just being changed from the guard position where you had played for up to that point to switch over to left tackle on the plane, as Kenny Dillingham told us. Take our viewers and listeners through that process of just like, what was that plane ride like, and just on like how did the coaches approach, what was that like, and how did you kind of react to being kind of thrust in a difficult situation like that?
Yeah, obviously, we're just flying to Utah. Coach T sat like a row in front of me. I just remember him turning around and telling me that Isaiah wasn't going to make it, and telling me that I was going to have to play left tackle. So I was just watching as much film as I could, and just trying to go back to my technique because I did play left tackle in high school. So just going back to what I remembered definitely helped out a little bit. But yeah, it was a shocker for sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, how What were the feelings going through your head? Obviously, at some level, like, okay, this is a job, I got to take care of business, but just, knowing that that was a really tough spot that you were put in, and obviously, going up against a pretty formidable Utah defense.
Yeah, like you said, it was tough, but just trying to embrace the moment and try to step up and just like a big thing for me is trying to help the team as much as possible. So no matter what Coach Dilly and Coach T wanted me to play, I was gonna step up and try to do the best of my ability.
And then, of course, Coach Dillingham and the staff really threw a lot of praise your way for handling that tough situation and doing well. And then, what was it like? Just what kind of support did you feel from the coaching staff and the teammates, knowing that hey, not only are you a true freshman playing in a position that usually takes a little bit longer to ramp up, but also knowing that you're going to be put in those tough spots and attacking those things head on.
Yeah, this goes back to when they first started recruiting me. They told me that it wasn't going to be easy and that I was going to have to start practicing all 5 positions. So just trying to I came in expecting that I was going to have to play a little bit of all 5. So I knew I was going to have their support from the day one. So yeah, just like I said, just doing whatever I can to help the team was great.
Do you feel that you have a favorite position or preferred position, or one that might fit your talents best at this point?
I'd say left guard. Left guard is where I feel most comfortable for sure.
And of course, and I talked to Joey Ramos not too long ago, and he said that the UCLA game was one of his favorite moments, just because you guys obviously out of kind of necessity doing a lot of weird stuff, the swinging gate, but he really enjoyed just hearing the stuff that the UCLA defenders were just saying, just out of frustration if you guys continue to have success. What are your thoughts of just that night obviously in one of the premier venues in the sport, but having that success, being a little very out of the box in terms of what you guys were doing schematically, but also having that success?
Yeah, like you said, playing at the Rose Bowl, man, that was great. But as far as the game, it was great. Just running back and forth, sideline to sideline, hearing how frustrated they were, and it was funny because my cousin Jay Toya plays D-line over there at UCLA. He was just talking to me the whole game. He was like, "Sean, what is this? What is this?" I was like, "Bro, stop it. Try to stop it, man." But yeah, like Joey said, it was fun. It was so fun because they're frustrated. So yeah.
Overall, though, kind of a tough year for the offensive line. Just so many injuries, and even your position coach and Coach T, obviously he missed a couple weeks too. So what was it overall? Just a year that you guys had to just battle through adversity and obstacle after obstacle at one of the most crucial positions on the field.
Yeah. So we have this thing called 1SB, One Snap Brotherhood, and we live truly to that. So just every snap, just signing that contract, telling each other that we're going to give each other 100% as much as possible. So just sticking to that and just knowing that we're going to give each other 100% no matter what definitely helped out a lot. And we knew that we just had to finish and strain. That was a big thing for us. So, yeah, the O-line room was a little shaky, but we just fought as much as we could.
Yeah, so obviously a lot of adversity that you guys, through all the injuries and everything, were able to power through and put together some pretty good performances over the course of the year. How did you see Coach Tuatele, lead that group, and obviously with all the things thrown at you guys and kind of inside that room, how you saw him lead and evolve as a position coach and a leader?
He just always told us what Coach Dillingham always says. Nobody cares what's going on. Just keep working. Just keep working. And I definitely feel like we all got more closer as everything started to fall. So yeah, just listen to Coach T and just listen to what he has to say. He definitely came and helped out a lot.
What advice would Sean of today give Sean making that first, maybe that first practice in fall camp?
Relax, man. It's college football. You've been playing football ever since you were little. People are a little faster, playbook's a little bigger, but just go out there and just play ball.
You mentioned that you've been playing ball for a long time, so I want to go back to the start. How did you get into the sport of football, and what were some of your earliest football memories?
Like I said, my mom's little brothers played football, so growing up into a football family is definitely how I started. I started playing football around 5 years old. So just growing up, my mom's little brother, he went to school down south. So yeah. I grew up going to all those games. So just growing up playing football, watching football, growing up around it is definitely the reason why I'm playing football now today.
Were you always, along the line, were you always a bigger guy, or did you get a chance to shine and show off some of those skills?
Oh, yeah. growing up, played a little linebacker, a little tight end. I was more of a taller guy, a little skinnier. So yeah, I didn't really get big till like middle school. So
Do you remember your first touchdown? Playing tight end, or maybe get a pick six or fumble recovery as the linebacker spot.
yeah, I remember playing tight end. I think we're in the red zone, 15 going in. We had a little power play action. I had a little corner route, touchdown in the corner. Man, I was so happy. It was cool.
We've seen Kenny be pretty creative, in terms of the play calling scheme, and even throw out some defenders on a goal line package. Are you maybe like pushing him this offseason to get some tight end skills out there and get a specific goal line package out there for you?
Hey man, that would be great. Come on, Coach Daly. I need that. I need that.
When did you first know that football, like you were good enough at football that it could take you places and to college and perhaps beyond?
I'd say the summer going into freshman year of high school, I went to a football camp. I think it was like a clinic at like Cal Lutheran up in California. And I remember Coach Pierce, AP, Antonio Pierce, he was over there, and he told me if I didn't lose a one-on-one rep, we're gonna offer you. I I had a day that day. I remember he offered me, and it was just great. And I was like, wow, I can really go through with this and probably pursue a career with this. So.
Of course, you played for a powerhouse down there with St. John Bosco. What was it like, just obviously playing for a powerhouse and playing against a top level competition?
Oh, it was great. Every day at practice, you knew that you're gonna play future Division I football guys. So just getting that look before entering college was definitely helpful for sure. And just like I said, playing Division I football competition, like all the other schools up in California, and we played some out of state teams too. So it was great.
Of course, ASU always has a big California flavor on their roster. Historically, a lot of the best teams have had a very heavy California contingent. Right now, it seems like in addition to that, there's also a lot of Texans in there. Is there like a little California-Texas rivalry in that locker room?
Always. We always talk smack to each other. CJ fight, me and CJ fight a little bit, and Isaiah Hullum, Jordan Tyson. They both went to Allen. Always talk to those guys. Yeah, there's always a little conflict with that.
So yeah, I've talked to some of those Texas guys, and they outline what makes Texas high school football special, what makes Texas football players special. So kind of flipping the script, what makes California guys so special? Why obviously a lot of talented guys out there, but going through the rigors of high level California high school football, how does that prepare you? What makes those California guys different?
I'd say the preparation. I think we have the better coaches in the country, and I feel like we're just more athletic, faster. Yeah, but I'd say most definitely the coaches for sure are a bigger step than all the other states out there.
You mentioned that first offer, AP drops to you after not losing a rep in that camp, but ultimately when decision day came, why was Arizona State the right place for you?
Like I said before, close to home, 5-6 hour drive for the fam, not too bad. And before this, Coach T. Taylor was obviously at Fresno State. So just building that connection with Coach T, relationship, definitely helped out a lot. And when I came here, I just felt like home. The coaches felt like family, and they're still the same. I know that there's a lot of coaches out there who just use it for like recruiting, but these coaches just are for real, and they just never switched up on me. So I just knew that this is home.
As a California guy, now a Sun Devil with a season under your belt, you sad to see the Pac-12 go?
Yeah, like I said, growing up in the Pac, I grew up in the Pac-10, so just always watching the Pac was always good times for me. But really excited for what's to come in the Big 12.
Of course, you're moving to the Big 12 and playing a whole bunch of new teams and a lot of fresh faces out there. What are your thoughts on just kind of that move and making that going a little bit to East? A lot of Texas teams, a lot of teams that have had a lot of success in recent years.
Yeah, like you said, going out there and playing a lot of those Southern teams is great. The South is where it's at. That's where the most competition is at. So I feel like just going over there and compete is definitely something that I'm really excited for.
Is there a specific Big 12 location that you're most excited to see? Maybe some historic venues or spots in the Big 12 country?
Maybe UCF. Never been to Florida before.
Okay.
Not a big fan of the weather, I guess people say. Maybe the Texas schools, Tech, TCU. So yeah, I'd say the South for sure.
Good deal. When you look at the kind of the future of the program, obviously that includes the Big 12, but obviously a young head coach in Kenny Dillingham. Year one, a lot was thrown on his plate, and he may do the best he can with all that adversity and the obstacles. What jumps out to you about Kenny Dillingham as a leader of a program?
That guy cares. He cares. CJ talked about it in an interview that me and him did the other day. That he wants to compete. He's a big competitor. So that's something that I feel like he tries to feed off to us. He just always compete and to just never take a loss. Always try to get up and hit somebody in the mouth no matter what.
You have a new offensive coordinator this season in Marcus Arroyo. What are some of the things that kind of jump out to you about him, and what do you think he's going to do for the Sun Devil offense?
Explosive. Like his offense is so fast. I think we've learned probably like 10, 11 plays so far, and they're all just fast. So I'd say something to expect this year is definitely starting off fast. That's something we talk about a lot. So just a very explosive offense.
A lot of new faces in that offensive lineman room with you. What are some of the thoughts on the newcomers, the guys that are joining you in the trenches?
Yeah. So some of the guys I actually know from California. Joey Sua grew up a little bit out there in California. Met him at a couple camps. Issei Masaltia. Grew up around him. Played Issei too. But yeah, just building that camaraderie, that brotherhood with each other. It's been great. And I feel like we all just clicked ever since we all met each other. So
spring ball's about a month away. What are some of the goals that you have for yourself, and also perhaps goals that you have for the offensive line as a unit?
For myself or as a unit, I'd say I want us to play more violent, more physical, and just go out there and try to move people as much as we can, and just trust each other that we all have each other's backs no matter what. So yeah.
And then for yourself, what are some things that you want to make sure that your Coach T and Kenny know, and Marcus, that you're able to do during those 15 practices?
Definitely get more comfortable with the playbook. Try to do little things like I said, know the playbook to the T, and just know what to do when certain looks are out there.
Yeah, already, as leading that one of your teams in the off-season conditioning, stepping up in a leadership role, a lot of playing time under your belt already earlier on in your career. You're kind of on that track, one of the kind of the young faces of the program. What is it like, just knowing that, already early on in your career, you're making a big difference in guys on your team, and coaches already kind of looking at you as one of the guys that they can count on?
Yeah, I'd say I always tell myself, I have this whiteboard in front of me. It says now it's time to lead at the best of your ability. You're not that freshman anymore. So just growing up and just trying to take that leadership role and embrace it, and just help the team as much as possible is definitely something that I try to hone on.
When you look ahead to this fall, this 2024 season, first in the Big 12, your second as a Sun Devil, when it's all said and done, what are the things that you want to make sure you were able to accomplish?
I want us to compete. I want teams to like play us and just know like, damn, we played Arizona State. So just going out there and compete as much as we can. And I think the game will just come to us. Just start off fast.
I'd like to thank Sean for taking the time to talk with me for this episode. I'd also like to thank Jeremy Hawks of ASU Media Relations. Make sure you are subscribed to Speak of the Devils on the podcast platform of your choice for more great episodes featuring a number of Sun Devil athletes across a variety of sports. And be sure to give me a follow on Twitter and Instagram at bdenny29.